Good morning and welcome to Better Thyself segment of Dr. Lamba's Awakening Call. We are human beings and making mistakes is a part of life. No one can say that he has never made a mistake. And I believe that a person who doesn't mistake is not working. As a matter of fact, you would make mistakes only if you work, and that's the reality. However, they need to be managed effectively. We human beings are driven by drive, desire, and passion. And in the heat of the passion, we make mistakes. Every moment, we keep creating new wants for ourselves. And that carving and wanting to have more and more of everything that we love makes us make mistakes because we are not sure what's going to happen. That's fine. As I said, making mistakes is human. But managing them is better because once you manage them, the mistakes don't remain mistakes, they are just bites. As I said, nobody can say that I never made a mistake. But many people can say, yes, I made a mistake and I managed it properly. As a matter of fact, making mistake can be catalyst that keeps your energy level high. With an intention to achieve our desires, we make efforts in every possible direction. Many times our actions meet the desired results. At other times, they go awry, they go wrong. And when the output does not meet our expectations, we call it a mistake, which is a mistake itself. So what do you do when you make a mistake? The three responses can be there. Ignore it, that's one. And three more. Repent. Oh, why did I do it? Regret. I'm an idiot. Or rework. So the people who rework manage them properly. So either ignore it or rework it. And the people often make blunders and they remain stuck. It's like that you're walking and all of a sudden your foot is in mud. So either you remain and start crying over there or make an effort to come out of the mud. People, when they make a mistake, do not seem to realize that blunder once happened can never be repaired in the past. So crying, why did I not do this? Why did I do this? Is of no help. The point to be noted is that the real challenge is to move ahead from the past mistakes. And then when I say that, people say, well, it's not easy to do it. There are three options that you have. Three options to manage your mistakes. The first is, of course, correction. Now, what is correction? You can never go back into the past and rework. There is no reverse time machine in this universe. You cannot put yourself in time machine, push the button back to date 1 and start reworking. But you can always see whether you can correct your mistake midway, somehow, and manipulate the elements of the circumstances to mitigate the impact. If you can stop what you're doing, rework the whole thing, maybe the mistake would not be as injurious as you deem it to be. Or you can manipulate the circumstances that the effect, the negative effects which might accrue are not there. That's a correction. For example, you took a wrong decision and accepted a particular job offer. A few weeks into the system, you realize a significant mismatch between what you thought about the job, what was your understanding of the job, and what the reality is. Now, there is no point in worrying or getting stressed about the situation at this stage, ideally. There is no sense in coming home from the office and sit down and start shouting at your wife or husband or kids are weeping. You have to accept the fact and check if there is any scope for correction. Now, correction can be you can speak to someone to change your job role, go to the boss. That this role can job duty be changed, the responsibility be changed. Or can you mentally and by reworking your skills realign yourself with a new job? Or is there any other way that the job can be corrected? Think and start making the efforts in the recalibrated direction. Quite possible when you go to the boss, he might have a look at your capabilities and might say, I rather think that you are better suited to some other job. After all, no boss also wants a round peg in a square hole. People want the optimum results when they are paying you. So the best thing is ask for the redefinition of the job, responsibilities, everything. And 9 out of 10 you would find that this would happen. And the correction can be done. Now, suppose the correction cannot be done, then what do? There's a second step. Transformation. If the idea of the correction doesn't seem to work, or it has failed, the strategy that you adopt should be to ideate a transformation. It's a concept, it's a thought pattern, how to change it. Think of it. If you can look at the mistake a blessing in disguise, many times what you call a mistake actually can lead to a significant transformational opportunity. Maybe you can in your off time learn a new skill to perform the job, thereby making your resume still better. Learning a new skill and using it. Now, let's take up an example. Say XYZ wanted to build a career into medicine. He attempted to make it a few times to get into medical college, but he took it very lightly. The competition was tough. He couldn't get admission to medical college. And then you join a research institute and start accumulating insights on the next like subject, say molecular biology. You can't go into medicine, you go into biology. But you are frustrated. And then comes a pandemic like corona. You get an opportunity to be part of the research team to work on a new vaccine. You might be the happiest person today. So that mistake, not studying hard to get in me college, turns to be a blessing in disguise. The point is that you have to convert a mistake into a positive action which can give you satisfaction. Can you do something like that? Think about it. Now, when I left teaching or advisory to the government and joined the corporate sector, I was absolutely new to the corporate sector. And I started at the level of a general manager, and the next step was CEO. I was CEO of 2 major companies in India. And then imagine, I learned something which I had never known before. The manufacturing processes, pressure cookers, slow cookers, and the watches, and the television. It enhanced my skills, my capabilities. I learned about it. And I brought my strategic formation into marketing. Thereby, one company where I was sent as a CEO had a loss accumulated over 7 years. And in 1 year, I put on all the losses. Because of my past experience, I modulated, modified, changed. And people thought I'm a magician. I was no magician. I was actually correcting a mistake. Or rather, I was transforming what I learned to the new job. So first is correction, second is transformation strategy, third, deletion. You try to correct something, you fail. You want to transform it, either you are incapable or you fail to do it. But that's not the end of the tunnel. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. You have got to understand that. Then the third is delete. push the delete button. If the above two ideas do not work, that means correction you can't do and transformation is beyond your capabilities, then accept and move ahead. Simple. You can either resign and get a new job, but then there might be mistakes where you can't resign. So you have got to change your attitudes, change your concepts, learn new skills. Yes, you need to expend, remove, delete the unwanted happenings from your life. So delete that experience altogether from your mind records. And the best way is, if it's a job, learn a new skill. If it's a relationship, then what do? Try to transform your relationship so that you be in sync with your partner. Or separate. Whatever it is, you have got to transform or to delete. I understand it might be very difficult to do so. However, when things start going tough, the tough get going. That's a popular saying. So be tough and get going. That way, you would be able to rectify the mistakes, isn't it? And let me tell you, there can be no better way to deal with your mistakes at this stage. Just forget, forgive, and then look at the new horizons of the life ahead. And that may not be the best option. The best option, of course, is transformation. There is no denying the fact. And the transformation needs a reskilling, if it's a job, reorienting your emotions, your feelings, your thoughts, your skills, whatever. It's a totality. And each mistake depends. For example, there can be small mistake. You wanted your child to admit your child in a school. You found that the school, what you had heard about and what you had thought about is not that. Simple. You can change the school. It might be a loss of a semester, but so what? In a life, one semester doesn't count. It counts as well in a way that you are losing the last semester of your life, or rather the most productive period of your life. But then, is it worth losing that or mopping whole your life? So you have to choose. It's a matter of choices. But don't forget, your resources are limited. Your alternatives available to you would always be limited. They can never be unlimited. So managing of mistakes is basically a management issue. It's basically how you manage yourself. It's an attitudinal issue. How your mind, your brain adapt to the changed situation. And let me tell you, that's not too tough a job. It's very rarely that your mistakes are blunders. Mostly mistakes are ordinary mistakes, but because of our imagination, our fears, fear of the unknown, what might happen, what might people say, we expand that mistake into a horrible blunder as if it's going to be the end of the world. No, it's not going to be the end of the world. It is going to be a temporary setback to your thoughts, to your maybe career, to your relationship, but there is always a possibility of either correcting it or transforming it or deleting it. Now here you have got to pick and choose what method, or maybe many times you have got to combine the methods. For example, transformation and correction can go hand in hand. Correction you can do, and at the same time you are transforming yourself to fit into the new role. You are a square peg in a round hole, so why not start cleaning the edges, make them suitable for the whole. You may not be a full round veg, but you can be sufficiently good enough to go in and fit in. So that can go hand in hand. But basically, these three aspects would enable you to do the needful and become a useful, better human being. Thank you.